and welcome. I'm Arwen Brooke, and today we're going to do a workout that uses the roller to nourish your body as well as challenge it, so I hope you enjoy. Let's get started by mobilizing the shoulders. So you're going to take the roller around to the back of your body, and we're going to come up to high kneeling. You can be seated still or standing, and then we're going to take our arms from the ends of the roller in towards the center, so they're relatively straight up and down. And then the roller is quite low, it's down near my tailbone, and I have the roller against my wrists. That's a part of the body that may differ from person to person depending on how long your arms are. But we're going to start like this, and we're going to let the shoulders roll back. We're going to draw the abdominals in so that we have a nice sort of stable and still low back. And maybe you're drawing your tail down towards the mat a little bit. Then we're going to start to just bend the elbows, and that's going to roll the roller up the back of the body and then back down. So what we're trying to do here is kind of let the roller help us glide the elbows back and the shoulders back. So you're going to find the shoulders moving and opening away from the heart and then lengthening back down. As you kind of find your position, where it is that you start so that you have room to move, you might be rolling towards your palms and fingertips as the roller comes up. As long as you can kind of maintain connection with the roller, you should be okay. And we're just stretching the muscles of the front of the shoulder, and then maybe even with a little activation pushing into the roller, you might feel your biceps warming up a little bit and your triceps are working together. So pressing into the roller is a nice option to kind of mobilize and activate those muscles just a little extra. That should feel kind of nice, stretchy, and warming all around. And then we're gonna just take the roller down to finish, and then bring it into your hands, outstretched in front of you so that the arms are straight. And you're gonna just float the roller up to the sky just to make sure I'm still in view. I'm gonna sit back on my heels, but you can stay upright. Placing your hands at the ends, press into the roller and shrug the shoulders down. And then from here, we're just gonna spiral to the left and center, and spiral to the right and center. And whatever direction you're going, let it just be nice and smooth and just gentle. Don't try to crank or force anything, but just mobilizing and listening in to your body and finding out where it's gliding easily and where you might be finding a little bit of stiffness or things that don't feel quite as mobile. So it's just a nice warming up, listening in. And then we'll do one more to our second side and then back to center and lower the roller down. Now we're going to put it across our mats and turn to face the roller. And we're going to go into a little kneeling cat with the roller as an assist. So you'll place your hands on the roller and then let the roller start to roll away from you, and your roller can start really more close to the elbows than the wrists as you start to find your way into position. You're going to let your heart sink down towards the mat as your shoulders stretch and your side body lengthens. And then from here, we're going to curl the tail under, rounding the spine, letting the roller come with us. So it's coming in towards your knees, and then inhale and let the heart stretch out and away. And again, exhale, round, bringing the roller in. And as you discover with your own mat, as well as what you'll see on your screen, is that when you start to roll the roller on your mat, it'll bunch up. We'll ignore that for now, and we might just ditch our mat in a moment. And then round. That's if you have mat on carpet. I think on regular hard floors, they tend to stay put a little better. As you round, just really finding that curve in the low back that we really often need to help stretch out some of the tightness. And one more time, rounding. And then we'll finish on our forearms, reorganizing so that the elbows are right underneath your hips. Once you're set up, I'm just going to reset my mat. Take a little bit of time to ensure that your elbows are right underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Then we're going to go into sternum drops. As you may already know, that's where you're going to let your sternum, your chest, sink towards the roller and then lift it away. And what we're doing here is working on some of the muscles that move and stabilize the shoulders, the shoulder blades in particular. So find your shoulder blades and see if you can feel them kind of scrunch together here at the back. And then when you lift up, the shoulder blades actually slide apart. They come wide on your rib cage towards your armpits and then together. And again towards your armpits. So as you do this, see if you can feel that connection under your armpits. You're going to lift up and hold the next one. Lift and then try moving the roller a little bit. Roll it forward, roll it back. Keep the lift and just try finding a little bit of movement in the joint. extra power in those underarm muscles, your serratus. Good. And then we'll take the roller back to the start and come off of there altogether. Now we're going to take the roller under our knees and even a little bit further back. So I'll give you a chance to see it before we define it any further. But what you're going to do is start with the roller underneath your knees, kind of near the kneecap, but not on it. And then you'll place your hands under your shoulders. But we need that underarm connection again. So you're going to push into the mat, lift up out of the wrists, and then take your spine into a nice deep calf stretch as you also lift your toes away from the mat. From here, you're going to lift your abdominals a little more or a lot more, and exhale, curl the tail under and roll the knees in towards your nose. Inhale, let it roll back. Exhale, curl the tail under and lift your abdominals and roll in and lengthen back. And again, and back, and thinking about that real powerful underarm connection. Spread those shoulder blades wide, lift up out of the hands. Imagine you didn't have the roller to support you. You're trying to lift your knees off of it. And two more. And one more. And then bring the knees back. Bring the toes down and come back off of your hands. All right, I'm going to move my mat so that it doesn't distract from the rolling that we're going to get into next. Okay, I've removed the mat, and now we're going to come down onto our knees on the mat with the roller right in front of our knees, and then place our thighs on top of the roller as we place our elbows down on the mat. So you have the option to set up so that your roller is anywhere underneath your thighs from high to low, and then place your elbows on the mat, and then use your abdominals to help keep your low back from sinking towards the mat. And then from there, you're just going to glide forward and back, creating a massage for the top of your thighs. This is a pretty common area to be tight and sore, and having these muscles tight without any opportunity to release and stretch can start to kind of cumulatively pull on other parts of your body, like your back or your knees, and cause a little unease there. So rolling around on them can really help with that. And then they invite you to turn your heels in towards one another, and you'll get into the inner quads, and then turn your toes in towards one another, and you'll move the pressure into the outer quads. And these are all just options. You can bring all 10 toes to the right, and that's where I am now. If I were wearing a belt, my belt buckle would be pointing towards the camera a little bit, and now I'm getting the outer of my left thigh, which is really worth rolling. And then we can do the same thing on the other side, turning and massaging. This is not just about the outside of the right thigh now, it's the inside of the left as well. And then back to center. And then last thing here before we switch it up is to try bending the knees. Doing so can add a little bit of extra goodness to your massage and give you some room to move into the inner and outer muscles a little bit more fully as well. And so explore that. All heels to the right or left, and then all heels to the other side. And there's rarely a day that goes by that doesn't feel like something I need. So we're going to put the roller now underneath the knees again, but this time we're going to keep bringing the roller back so it's really under our ankles or near our ankles. And then we're going to reset so that our forearms are on the mat and our elbows find a good connection to the mat, and then your hands can clasp and press into the mat as well. Lift up out of the elbows. We're going to take a nice deep breath in, and what we're going to do is roll out into a plank position. So your next exhale is going to lengthen the legs out. Breathe in, hold. On the exhale, we'll pull the knees in. And reach out, inhale. Exhale, round. Inhale out. Exhale, round and land. So we're going to do that a few more times. My roller keeps wandering off. And I want to just give you another piece of information before we go on. So thinking about the underarms, the elbows as they were on the roller before, it's the same engagement through the elbows as we had on the roller. So lifting your heart away from the mat. And we're going to even go for a little bit of a of a deeper movement that actually allows us to round a little bit in our spine. So we're gonna do another set. I'm gonna invite you to do 4, 6, or 8. You can pause anytime you need to. Knees can land down, but I'm gonna demonstrate 8 and you can join me if that feels good. So elbows down, hands interlaced, shoulders open in the front and wide in the back. And then we take our nice big breath in and exhale out. Take another breath here, exhale to round and pull it in. Again, imagining you're trying to lift your knees up into your chest. So you're lifting your rib cage and rounding your upper back. Pushing the floor away. I think that's 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we'll land the knees down. And that should be quite warming. All right, we're gonna move the roller now from under the ankles and get into some nice chest opening. So we're trying to sort of balance our movement so far in class between all the therapeutic ways the roller can benefit the body and the ways that it can help us to enjoy some challenge. So challenge, check, onto some therapy. So you're gonna take your spine onto the roller so that your head is supported as well as your tail, and then just organize around the roller so that all your parts feel comfortable, stable, and centered. So you should feel the roller land right up the spine between the two halves of your rib cage, the two halves of your pelvis, and right along the back and center of your head. And then from here, we're just gonna take our arms into motion. We're gonna reach them up to the sky and then let them float back behind us, allowing the arms to fall heavily, but keeping the rib cage weighted down, as opposed to letting the back arch off the roller. And then we're gonna let the arms start to circle around the body, but we're gonna bend the elbows, and we're gonna pause in that moment where we get into cactus arms, where we have right angles at the elbows and our chest opening. And then from here, we're gonna pull the elbows in together, pressing the elbows into one another, pressing the palms together, engage, and then inhale, open. Exhale, press. So you're not just trying to get the elbows to touch, but you're trying to press into one another. Again, finding that serratus connection under the armpits. If you don't know about the serratus muscle, that's okay. And I'll just kind of share with you a couple of important elements. These muscles are part of your shoulder stability and healthy mobility. They're very important for that. And they also co-contract with your oblique muscles and your abdominals. And for that reason, them being active and strong can help your abdominals be stronger and get you a little further in your core work and help you in your roll-ups and all the other good stuff. So feeling the power there, open and stretch. Let's stay there and just take your elbows all the way down by your sides. And then you're gonna take your feet into a thoughtful parallel. Wider is more stable, narrower is more challenging. Choose your own medicine. Take a nice deep breath in, and on the exhale, we're gonna curl the tail under, peel the hips up, and find our way up into a bridge. Breathe in at the top, and on the exhale, roll back down and try to enjoy contact with each of your vertebrae on the mat individually. And of course, if that doesn't happen, that's okay, but we're just doing our best. And again, exhale, scoop and curl, tuck the tail under, really sink first into the roller and then peel away. And then exhale, roll back down, imprinting and stretching. Finding movement where there might not be as much as we would like. So this low back region in particular, but sometimes it's that spot right between your upper back and your low back. It's a really sort of mobile spot, but it can also get really stuck. All right, so once you've done a fair amount of bridging, we're gonna just take our hands again up and overhead, and this time interlace them behind the head. And we'll take them into a supportive little basket weave. Now, elbows are gonna be wide, but let's float them a little bit forward so we can feel some of that reach that we created on the roller earlier, pushing the elbows forward in space. Not like a pinch towards your nose, but a reach towards the ceiling. And then soften the sternum down into the roller and curl up with the upper body. Let's add the lower half, so you'll tuck the tail under and try to flatten the whole back of the lower spine into the mat. and roller, and then lower back down. And again, reach the elbows towards the ceiling, reach them forward, and peel up, curling the tail under. And inhale back down. And again, exhale, sink and roll up. And then from here, we're gonna hold and try to find a little bit of challenge in our balance. If you find that this works for you to just stay here, you'll stay. And if you feel like you have room for it, you might lift your right heel, you might lift your right knee, and bring it all the way up to tabletop, and then lower it back down. Exhale to do that, and float the left heel, left knee perhaps, and then lower it back down. So again, if it's just the heel, great. If it's the entire foot, fine. If the leg gets all the way up to tabletop, wonderful. But it's all good for your core. And talking while balancing is a little extra challenge, so feel free to feedback while you're moving, or just enjoy yourself silently. Good. We're going to try one more to each side. You might discover, like me, that there's a little bit more wobble to one side, but when you're not paying attention, it could be either side. And then lower back down. Let's have your core nice and warmed up. Now we're going to take the arms back down by our sides for a moment while we reset, and then take the right leg in a tabletop. Power on that core. As part of this process, you're just going to maintain stability through here. So your abs are engaged in a neutral way, but they're active. And then you're going to take your right arm up to the sky. So it's same side, arm and leg. And then as you're ready, you're going to exhale and start to reach both the arm and leg out from center, not below the roller, just in line with your spine at the very lowest, and then draw back in. And make it about the core. As your leg and fingertips stretch out, pull the abdominals in more. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, reach. Connect. Make it about the stability first, and then you'll find ease and mobility in your limbs. And then bring it in and lower everything to the mat. Same thing, second side. Core first, float the left leg. And then with the arms long by your sides, you'll take the center of gravity perhaps a little bit to the right, and then bring your left arm up. And then take your next breath in and exhale to lengthen. Core and length. Inhale back to the start. And exhale, reach. And inhale to the center. And two more. And one more. And then bring it in and lower it all down. Awesome. We're going to take the roller out from under us now. You can just slide off to the side, lower your spine to the mat, and enjoy just for a moment that feeling of resting on that mat after the roller. It kind of can feel like you're lying in a ditch, and that's a yummy thing. And then we're going to bring the roller underneath our knees, and then take our hips off of the mat as we bridge up and bring the roller underneath our sacrum. So you're going to be high up on the sacrum, but not under the low back. So that just gives you a nice place that's stable. Once you're there, you're going to float one knee into tabletop, followed by the other. And then if the roller's in the right place, it shouldn't roll out from under you. And we'll take the right leg long, left knee in, and hold on to that left knee as we lower the right leg down. This is a very friendly, simple hip flexor stretch. You may know it well. If you own a roller, you probably have seen this one and done it many times. But if not, we're trying to stretch the front of that right hip and just breathe into it. You can play with the stretch by pointing both feet, by flexing both feet, by straightening the leg on the stretch, or letting it bend and rest into the lower heel position. Whatever gives you the most stretch. For me, active is creating the most stretch for me today. You can also do a little rolling around, tilting your pelvis to the left while your right leg is stretched out long. You can move the stretch to the outside of the hip. That can be really beneficial. And then back to center. And then we're going to take the right knee in and send the left leg long and out over the mat. So you're just going to let it hang into gravity. Pull on the knee that's towards you. It'll help you actually maximize the stretch by pulling that knee in tight. The pelvis rocks further into that posterior tilt, and your leg can hang out there with a little more room to move. And then again, point the feet, trying that out. Flex the feet, try that out. And then if it feels useful, maybe you roll a little bit this time to the right as your left leg is stretched out long. And then we'll come back to the center. And then bring the knees in. Take hands to the ends of the roller. And we'll just straighten the legs up to the sky. And then we're just going to go into some scissors. You'll take one leg towards you and the other way, and then switch. And keep going like that. Enjoy the stretch. Imagine your legs are moving through honey, a nice thick honey that's keeping you from flopping around. You're really active through the limbs. They stay strong and long and pull their way through the honey. And take it a little farther. See if you can bring the leg a little closer to you as you reach the leg, stretching down a little farther away from you, and switch. And if you did pull on your leg as I was demonstrating, you might do that on both sides because it feels real good. And then just do a couple more. And we'll come back to the center. Bend the knees in. Land your left foot down. Keep your right leg up. So we've got the left foot on the mat. And I want you to feel all four corners of your left foot. So you might lift all your toes off the mat and push down. Tuck the tail under. So you're sinking your heel into the mat and tucking your tail under to bring your sit bones up towards the sky. And then you're going to hold there and reach the right leg long. You're going to flex the foot and pull it down towards the mat, keeping your pelvis really tucked and tilted towards you. And then inhale, sweep the leg up, toes pointed. Exhale, flex and lower. Inhale, kick back up. Left leg is super active still. We have not relaxed there. We are pushing down into the earth to help steer that pelvis into our 12 o'clock tilt, that posterior tilt. Inhale up and flex and lower. And then at the top this time, hold. You're just going to do tiny little circles. Little freedom circles. These little swirlies at the hip joint. Super active on the left leg, stable as can be. And then you get this just freedom of movement in the right hip. And reverse your direction. And then bring your leg back to the center. Bring the knee in and we'll switch. As you bring your right foot down again, flex the foot, push the heel in particular into the mat, but lift your toes off the mat. It'll help activate your ankle and kick you into your hamstring just that little extra bit. And then tuck the tail under, pushing down into that heel even more. Stretch your left leg up to the sky, toes pointed, and then flex the foot and reach the heel down. Keep the pelvis tilted back. Inhale up. Another way to think of it is we are trying to use the glutes to help keep the low back from arching. As the leg lowers, we could easily arch and the leg could just drop. And then up we come. And then tuck, sink the belly down. Inhale, back up, flex and lower. And then up to the sky and hold and circles. Again, super active on the right side so we can loosen up on the left. And then reverse your direction. And come on in, back to center. We'll lower both feet down, take the hips up, and move the roller out from under. Okay, so now we're going to move on to bridging with our feet on the roller. You're going to position the roller so it's out a little bit from your hips, right where your feet normally would be for bridging, and then bring your arms down to the mat alongside you. We're going to take the spine into a nice smooth peeling bridge as we tilt the pelvis towards 12 o'clock, tuck the tail under and peel up, bringing the hips up, opening the front of the body. Breathe in, and then exhale, soften the shoulders, curl the tail under, and roll back down. Now this has the back of the legs really active. If your hamstrings cramp, just come down and rest. And then maybe we try a few more, curling the tail under, rolling up. And then exhale, rolling back down. Another thing you might find if your hamstrings just won't allow you to do this without cramping is if you put a ball between your knees or something to squeeze into, your inner thighs will help and rebalance the effort so it's not all loaded into just one part of your hamstrings. And again, exhale, curl the tail under and peel up. If you're looking for that prop, I'll give you time to find it. We're going to do one more bridge. The next one we're going to hold and add in. So you're going to scoop and curl, peeling up into your bridge. Hold there, and then take your roller and let it roll a little bit out from center. Exhale, pull it back in. Inhale out. Exhale, pull in. This is a real hamstring toaster. And exhale, curl in. You'll feel the massage to the bottom of your feet, but maybe not quite as strong as the hamstring engagement. One more time out, and one more time in, and then roll all the way down. My roll down was embarrassing. It didn't roll very much. All right, we're gonna place the roller again under the feet. I think my roller is warped, it keeps wandering off. So what I'm gonna do is set up in the same way and then just take my legs out and in a few times. Straightening the legs and then bending. The roller cruises under the heels into the back of the calves and then back under the feet. And this sometimes requires a few times throughout the series that we've reset, but it should feel pretty mild and easy. And then we're gonna do it with the legs turned out. So the knees out to the sides. Little frog leg kind of motion. Again, using the hips, but not really with a ton of effort. So it's kind of more mobilizing than effortful. And then reset, and we're gonna make it circular. So the legs will go out to straight in parallel. Then the knees turn out as we bend the knees in, back to parallel to straighten, and in. And for real, this roller is quite a kilter. It's just kind of got a mind of its own. But this is going to just feel really nice in the hips and give you a chance to feel some ease in that part of the body. Okay? Now, next up is roll-ups. So your feet are on the roller, your feet are about bridge distance, and we're going to start with the arms back. Breathing in to prepare, and then on the exhale, you're going to reach the fingertips forward, nod the chin, and roll through the spine as the legs lengthen out to straight. And then take your breath in, exhale, curl the tail under, start to roll back, bending the knees, and rolling back down. Inhale back, exhale, peeling up, and rolling forward. Exhale, rolling back, bending the knees, rolling back down. And we're gonna do that a few more times. Once again, gonna reset a little bit. Okay, as you are up on your next roll down or roll up, you'll stay and then just simply stack up. From here, we're gonna take the arms long, shoulders down. We're gonna curl the tail under and move back about halfway. And then from here, trying to find this power from the center, you're gonna scoop and bend the knees, pulling them in towards your chest, and then lengthen away. And exhale, and out. And trying to deepen the curve of your spine, like you're trying to wrap it around your knees, but you're pulling back. One more time, and then lengthen and roll down and reach the arms long and rest. From here, let's bring the roller in close and transfer it around the body to the back of the head. Positioning it here for a little neck massage and release. So we'll just let the head gently roll side to side, enjoying what stretch there is to find. And then wherever you are, one side or the other, try nodding the chin, yes or no. Mostly yes, but to the side, you'll massage some muscles of the neck that attach to the skull, and then right in the center, yes and no. Oh, so good. And then we're going to come up with the upper body to seated and relocate the roller behind the shoulder blades and the upper back. So from here, you'll just support your head in your hands, and then take your shoulders down, elbows forward again, just in that way that gives you that width to the shoulder blades, elbows stretching out and forward. And then bring the hips up off of the mat, let your head come back so it's level with the rest of your spine, and you'll just use the legs to help guide your body forward and back over the roller into a nice massage for the upper back. And then we'll take the roller, or the rib cage rather, we're going to tilt a little bit to one side. I'm tilting right, and now I'm feeling the work for the massage into my right shoulder. And then same thing going the other way. And then we'll lower the hips down and tilt all the way over to the right side so that the roller is now just behind the armpit. So we're not right in the soft tissue of the armpit, but just behind. And now you've got the roller into the big back muscles of your lats. And those, again, are nice and strong and often also tight. So a good massage can do you a world of good and free up some stuckness in your shoulders, but also even in your low back. Okay, so we're gonna stay with that, but add a little something. You're gonna stack your knees, you're lying mostly to the side, and then you turn towards the mat and bring your elbows both towards the floor, and then open, and maybe you move a little, maybe you move a lot, but you can turn your heart all the way open to the sky while you keep your knees to the side, and then twist back down, and twist open, and one more. So 3 total to each side. Try to use your breath to soothe your body as it works through some tough, intense moments. Not all of you are going to feel this as really intense, but some of you are, and since I know that, I just want to remind you to breathe and remind you to just move kindly over those sore spots. Make it as easeful as you can, okay? So if you've done 3, you can move on to the other side, and we'll take that with the knees all the way over to the left, and then a little side body massage, meaning you might do sort of more of a side bend roll of the roller before you add in the twist. And then when you're ready, twisting is next. So elbows together towards the mat, elbows apart, twist and open your heart towards the sky. You can even let your head hang back over the roller. And then bring yourself again into your twist. Down towards the mat and open towards the sky. And one more time, down towards the mat, breathe through it. Every side has a different story to tell, so your left side might be more intense than your right or less. And then we'll come back to the center. Once you're centered, you're setting the roller up again underneath your shoulder blades and creating a nice little sort of prop for your upper body. Hands behind the head, and we're simply going to go over the roller into back extension, letting the heart fall open. In this position, I'd like your elbows to stay a little bit more forward so your shoulder blades are wide, and help you to kind of lift your heart up to the sky. And then rounding, looking down towards your knees, and then inhaling, floating back, stretching your heart open. Again, letting your spine have your full attention. See if you can feel each segment as it moves over the roller. In some cases, you might feel like the spine moves all in one piece, and then where you can, we're looking for a real sort of mobility at each joint, and roll up. And especially in these moments of extension, where your spine is extended or arched or hanging back over the roller, this is a position your spine can move, but it's not designed to move as well in this direction, so it's something that we need to practice if we want to keep it. So we are here to practice. And then round, come up. Let's take your body, let's roll right over onto your tummy, and we're going to keep the roller where it is and turn to face it. So you'll be down on your tummy with the roller out in front of you, and then you're going to position your arms over the roller so that you're kind of near your elbows, and then walk your feet a little wider and hip width apart, maybe mat width or somewhere around there, and then hover your forehead over the mat. And we're just going to move the shoulder blades first, rolling the roller towards us and away, letting the shoulder blades slide north and south on the body. And then as you're ready, you're going to press your hips down into the mat. Send your pubic bone, your asses, all down into the mat, and activate the legs. Really reach through the toes. And then start to roll the shoulders down the back. Roll the roller towards you, and you'll peel up into your little mini swan. And then lower back down. And see if you can replicate the feeling you had arching over the roller. Imagining a roller behind your heart that you're not just lifting up against, but you're kind of bending to come under and around it, right? Because if you just come up in one piece, you're just going to bump into that imaginary roller, but you're going to arc around it, feeling the softness in the joints of your spine, and then lower down. And I'm relocating the roller even a little higher up by my elbows for this. I'm going to come up on the next one and hold. Shoulders down, heart forward and up, peeling around that imaginary roller. And then lift the abdominals even more. We're gonna bend the elbows and roll the roller towards you and away. We'll exhale to bring it in, inhale out. Pull the abdominals away from the mat as the elbows come in so that your body, your spine really doesn't collapse towards the mat, your low back in particular. Just one more. And then lower down and rest. And then let's take yourself back to elbows again, or close to the elbows. Rise up one more time. This time just let it be moderate. You're not as high as you could go, but you're enjoying the position. And then hover the legs off of the mat. You've got your glutes and your hamstrings working now. You're gonna squeeze your thighs together and open. And squeeze. Now, if you haven't thought about your abdominals yet, make sure that they are with you. Lift into that low abdominal core power. And again, squeeze those thighs together and make it really about the depth of your connection, not about how big the movement is. And last two, and last one, and then lower down. Take your hands to the mat, give yourself a little lift off, and push back into a child's pose. Letting your forehead rest down towards the mat, and just breathe into the back body. And then we'll slide the hands towards us, roll up to kneeling. We're going to change positions once again. So we're going to take the roller in front of us, and I'll do my, lying on my left side with a roller right out in front of me, and I'm going to prop my right knee onto the roller, and that's to kind of give my hips just a little bit of support and help stack them. I'm going to demonstrate what I'm doing without the roller so you can see my bottom leg, and then I might relocate it. So imagine my knee is on the roller, and what I'm going to do is organize my hips so that they're level and stacked, and then I'm going to lift and lower my bottom leg. Okay? So the roller just kind of helps to structure us so that we are kind of a little bit more balanced through our hips and our waist, and then we can move the lower leg. Maybe you can see it. But what we're doing is we're trying to turn on the inner thighs on the bottom leg. So you're going to just keep moving until you feel it, and then keep moving even still. But just don't be disappointed if it takes a little while, and also if it doesn't feel like a very grand movement. It's small. And then try to relax your foot. See if that helps you feel more of your upper inner thighs. Notice if your foot likes to kind of float forward towards the roller, we want to bring it back so it's in line with the rest of the body. And then try activating the foot by flexing, reach the heel away. See what the difference is there. By now you might be feeling quite toasty. I am, but we're going to keep on going. And now you're going to try pointing the foot, really activating through that foot and ankle, and then turning your knee up to the ceiling. Internally rotating, and then keep going, lifting and lowering. And oh yeah, you should be feeling this by now. And then keep going, but try staying just at the top and pulse up higher and stay really lifted. And 3, 2, 1, rest. Whew, okay, so now we're going to take both legs long, and we're going to move the roller out of the way for you so that you can see. You can keep yours right where it is. We're going to straighten both legs, press into the mat with both hands, shoulders down, lift both legs, and side bend to come up. We're doing bananas, and then lower back down. And stretch out long, get longer, not higher, but longer, and lower. And pull the belly in. Imagine you're lying on the mat on your tummy, and see if you can press your pubic bone into the mat as you press your thighs back, as if you were going to lift your legs and push your pelvis deeper into the mat. That's it, good. And then lower, and reach, and down. And one more time. This time you're going to stay. Hold at the top, keep the inner thighs lifting from underneath, and then lift the top leg up. And 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and lower down. Beautiful. Let's change sides. You can roll over. I will flip for visibility. So your roller comes with you. You'll position it in front of your body as you get comfortable on your side. We'll take the top knee to the roller and then organize the hips. So the left hip is stacked nice and tall right upon the right leg. And then you're going to take your right leg long and in line with your spine and begin to lift it. Now, lifting, again, can sometimes feel like you can barely move. As you discovered on the first side, it still can turn into quite a empowering exercise. Getting those inner thighs connected, so valuable. They're part of our center. They give us that stability and the ability to move with just power and ease in the rest of the body. So get those inner thighs involved and value them, even though they're sort of gonna feel some discomfort around this work. And then we're gonna try again with the foot relaxed, and then a few with the foot flexed to reach to the heel. I'm trying to distract you partly, and then also give you some different sensations, and then point the foot, really point the foot, and turn the kneecap up towards the ceiling. And you can find something a little extra special there as you work into your inner thighs and some of these other muscles of the inner body, including that VMO, goodness for your knees. And then stay at the top and pulse out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Whew. And then take the roller, or leave the roller. I will move again for visibility. And you are going to go into bananas, but to set up, you want your feet right in line with your hips, and then shoulders shrug down, lifting both legs up. Feel those inner thighs especially helping you to lift, and then rise up with the upper body and lower down. And again, imagining you're pressing your pubic bone into the mat as you lift your thighs, as if you're relying on your tummy. And again, shoulders down. Imagine you're really trying to stretch your head out towards the wall more than towards the ceiling. And 2 more. Good. And 1 more. Holding at the top, shoulders down, lift and lower that top leg. Good. And 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And then lower down and rest. Beautiful. So we're going to roll onto our back now. And you're going to bring the roller with you so that you have the option of holding it between your inner thighs. So I'll demonstrate here. You're lying down. Your roller is going to be between your inner thighs, lengthwise, and then you're going to bring your knees into tabletop and hug the roller with your inner foot. So not just your heels, not just your toes, but your whole inner foot, from the inner ankles down to the big toes. And the close end of the roller is held between your knees and your pelvis, so kind of right in the middle. So you feel it in the meat of your muscles. And then keep the knees in close to your body at first, because the weight of the roller can really pull on your low back. So keep the low back imprinted. And then I'm just rocking around to get situated. Then take your hands behind your head, shoulders shrug down, and you're going to really find the elbows and reach them forward as you find your nice deep ab curl, and then lower back down. Squeeze the roller and lower, and again squeeze and lower. And we'll take the next one up and hold. Stay there, really deep in that imprint of the low back. And on your next exhale, we're going to take the roller just a little bit away from center and back up. Some of us will move more than others, but I want you to make it about sinking the belly, more than how far the roller can get from you. And 2 more. 1 more. Bring it in. Head, shoulders down. Just get a bit of rest for a moment. Next one's obliques. You're going to take a nice deep breath in on the exhale. Curl up with the upper body again. Now imagine your roller is like a fire hose spraying water. You're going to spray the water to your right. So you're turning your knees to the left, hose to the right, and then also rotate your head and shoulders to the right, and then center. Turn your hose to the left, turn your head and shoulders to the left as well, and center, and swivel, and center. Good. And again, feeling those inner thighs working together with your obliques, and I mentioned the serratus work with your obliques as well. So reach your elbow towards your fire hose for a good aiming point. Reach towards the end where the water's coming out. Hopefully that image is working for you. And center. Last one to the left. Center and lower. And whew, that feels like some good core work. Take your roller in your hands. Reach it overhead. And then let's just take your hands behind your thighs and give yourself a little rock and roll up to kneeling, or seated, because we're coming to kneeling. So what we're gonna do now is take our roller underneath our knees. And I think I'm gonna turn around. You can stay as you are. So what we're gonna do is try to take all of that core work and all of the inner thighs, legs, arms, as we've just strengthened them, sometimes individually, and to just put them back together into a cohesive, integrated whole. So we're gonna place the knees on the roller and the hands on the mat, and make sure you have your body comfortable and your hair situated as you may like it. And then we're gonna place the toes down on the mat to start and dabble with taking them off. So you're as best you can in a neutral spine, all fours. And then from here, you might start with one leg first. So I'll take the right leg out and reach it back in line with the spine, not above, but right in line. And then sample the experience of taking the left hand off of the mat, reaching it forward. And then perhaps we might take the toes off on the left foot. And just stay and breathe. And feel the orientation of your body to your stability, where you're getting your stability from. And then land everything back down. Okay, second side. Left leg, stretch it back. Reach it out from center, and then take your right arm forward. And then as you find your stability there, dabbling maybe with taking the toes off, reorienting. Every breath, every moment is a new moment, requiring new connections. And lower it back down. Awesome job. Feeling all strong and connected, we're going to come from there into another movement standing. So we're just going to take our left foot forward over the roller, and then reach your arms forward and up, and we're going to rise up to standing. Awesome. So now let's take the roller and place it between our inner ankles. So you'll lift it up a little bit so it lives just above your inner ankle bones, and then walk your feet in close so you can feel the roller and give it a nice little squeeze. And then we're going to integrate everything in our whole body to practice balance. So we're going to take our hands to our hips, draw the shoulders down and back. Take a nice deep breath in on the exhale, squeeze into the roller, and then rise up onto your toes. And then inhale to lower back down. And again, allow yourself to wobble, find your connections, and then lower back down. And think of the core as you exhale, helping to give you that lift up through your spine and reach down. As you press into the balls of the feet, drag your heels up towards your sit bones, and then lower back down. Draw your pubic bone up the front of the body, and your sit bones down the back of the legs, and then lower down. Let's take your arms forward and fold into a squat. Shrug the shoulders down, and from here we're going to practice the same ankle movement. So take a nice deep breath in, and on the exhale you're going to roll up onto the balls of your feet, and then inhale to lower, and exhale. Heels and toes, heels and toes. Awesome. As you wobble, just explore where your stability comes from. Really move into the midline, move your weight into the inner foot, inner ankles, and draw in and up on your low abdominals. And then let's do one more and roll up on the balls of the feet. Keep yourself lifted, and then rise up. Squeeze your roller, stand up tall, and then reach through the fingertips as you lower your heels down. Bring your palms together, and then draw your heart up to meet your hands, and we'll finish there. So I hope you enjoyed class. If you'd like to see more, subscribe to my channel. I will post also updates and ideas for you to work out at home. On Instagram, you can follow me at arwenbrooke_Pilates, and you can also email me anytime at arwenbrooke@gmail.com. Enjoy your day.